Wayne.
Hello and welcome into the Strive Sports Podcast. We are back like we never left. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Thursday or whatever day you're listening to this podcast or watching it. This is episode number 1 of season number 2 of this. Look, man, I'm surprised I even made it this far. We did 12 episodes, a beta run last year, well, technically last year. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool to get a lot of feedback on it and get a lot of people being like, especially from the league, the USFL. A lot of people were asking me like, "Hey, man, let me get on the show." So,
yeah, man, I saw a lot of people coming on it, man. That's a test to you, man. You do a great job of what you do, man. We appreciate you.
thank you, bro. Well, I'm not taking any of the credit here because the platform was created for you. And if you're watching on screen, obviously, you know who the next guest is. But before we get to that, I'm going to give you the intro you deserve, Jamar, but I got to go pay some bills real quick. Make sure you find me and follow me on my socials. If you haven't already, at Kigo Amigo via Instagram, at Keegan Hartman 1 via Twitter, at Kigo the Amigo on TikTok. Corny ass names. And if you are new to our show, we're trying to grow this platform. It's what we've been trying to do from the jump. So if you are new to our YouTube page, we want to grow it. We want to share it. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss another episode. We're always posting content on there. At least we're going to be trying to. And with that said, make sure you follow us on our Strive accounts at Strive Sports Productions on Instagram, at Strive Sports Mo on Twitter and TikTok. All right. Bills are paid. Now let's get into the show. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the Strive Sports Podcast tonight, a native of Meridian, Mississippi, my next guest, Jamar Smith, was born with the game of football in his blood. But before I reintroduce at least to most of the audience, Jamar, now what we've seen in the past couple of years and your success with the USFL, I felt compelled, I guess, to kind of build up the story and kind of provide some context in this intro. And it's traditional to the podcast. If you've seen it before, I kind of give context to the player and then open up dialogue, kind of where we're at and where we stand. So having attended, Meridian High School in Meridian, Mississippi, Jamar Smith sought to excel in various sports throughout his high school career. In fact, from the research I kind of did today, is a little impromptu. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe that you were a 3-star athlete, and mind you, stars don't matter, but I thought it was pretty neat to point out that it was a 3-star recruit in both football and I want to say baseball as well. Can you add comment to that?
Most definitely, man. I played 3 sports going into high school, and then the basketball coach kind of forced some players to, pick basketball only, or you have to go play other sports. So I wasn't giving up football and baseball. I'm sorry. Baseball is my love, and then football I kind of fell in love with over the years. So, and then like you said, I became a 3-star in both of those sports, which I greatly love.
Yeah, and you kind of you built the segue there. Good job, Jamar. You're getting the hang of this podcast stuff. So actually, fun fact for those that don't know, you were actually drafted by the San Diego Padres in the 24th round of the 2015 draft. But you declined because you were like, I don't want to, I want to chase football. Football's
It became to that point, it was a very stressful week, man. I mean, stress, because recruitment and scouting is totally different, I promise you. And then I got the call. I was literally in the lunch cafeteria at Louisiana Tech eating Chick-fil-A. Said we're taking the 24th round. I was like, oh, wow, life could change right now. And the decision that kind of, gave it a no for me was my scholarship wasn't included. If they would have said, after baseball is done, you didn't have the really good opportunity, or, some years are just up, what I'm saying? I wanted my scholarship to be in the contract. If that scholarship was included in the contract, I'd probably be playing baseball still, you know what I mean? But it wasn't included, so I went the college route. I'm grateful for that route. I got an opportunity to play both sports in college a little bit, so that was exciting for me.
Hey man, education goes a long way,
Oh
and
yeah, man. Gotta have that, man. Gotta have that.
gotta have the piece of paper, even if it
Gotta
costs
have the piece of paper, baby.
college debt. You never know. But no, we'll pick up on the baseball conversation a little while later in the podcast. But kind of to circle back to the gridiron, ultimately it was football was kind of the love that kept you stuck to chasing it and going to the collegiate level rather. So throughout your career at Meridian, before we get into the college level, under head coach Larry Weems,
Oh my
Smith
God.
Smith notched nearly 2,600 passing yards, along with 26 passing touchdowns, averaging 214 passing yards per game. He parlayed his performance in the air with nearly 600 rushing yards and 13 rushing touchdowns.
I ain't running that much in high school, I promise you.
Oh, so hey, take that up with the boys running
Yeah, man. You know, we had great guys that could run the ball in the backfield as well. So my job was just give them the ball. You know what I mean?
I thought that translated over to the 4 year stretch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That puts you at like
Hey,
what,
man. Hey,
150
man.
a year?
I ran it probably a couple games. I ran a little bit, but it was mostly throwing the ball, man. We was a spread type air raid type team, man.
Okay, all right. Well, nevertheless, I mean, as we said earlier, we preface this, you're unanimous 3-star recruit, and you'd rank 24th, I believe, yeah, it's 24th in the state of Mississippi among all players in the 2015 recruiting class. I believe that was per Rivals.
Mhm.
You had a good amount, a good slew of offers, including Mississippi State, Memphis. I believe Mississippi State, you had opened up in an interview, you had said that that was going to be a school that was of interest to you, but I think they had pulled it at last minute because of the quarterback capacity, if I'm
Mhm.
not mistaken. And,
You're 100% correct.
and ultimately that pushed it to Louisiana Tech.
Yep.
And so you took your talents to Ruston, Louisiana, and that is
Louisiana, baby.
hey, shout out to Ruston, man.
Shout out to the boot, baby. Shout out to the boot.
When you look back on it, just I'm curious to know, it was one of the best decisions you could have ever made for your football career. Am I wrong saying
Oh
that?
yeah, it was a great decision moving to the 318 area. The people I've met, the connections, the coaches I ran into, Coach Holtz, um, just the memories I have, the great people, the opportunities I had. You know, just can't thank the man above for that opportunity for sure. And won't ever forget anything I'd ever done there. I always say this. I wish I could have got that conference championship for the school, for the community. But you know, anybody know I gave it my all every Saturday. So I'm
Absolutely.
thankful.
Absolutely. And obviously we're going to kind of go over and touch that. It's going to be one of the first topics we get into. We'll go over the entire career, but I want to kind of give the viewers a taste of what it was like in your fifth year, circling, highlighting up front your fifth year. It was obviously your final year with the Bulldogs, and across 11 games that you had played with the Bulldogs in 2019, you went 10-1 in that final season. You had finished as the CUSA's Offensive Player of the Year, recording 2,977 passing yards, 264 rushing yards, 18 passing, and 4 rushing touchdowns. These make me feel like an absolute dumbass right now reading these stats. This is La Tech, bro. This is these are your boys. This is not.
Yeah, man.
Don't get on to me for this.
Hey,
No,
man.
every
I didn't run the ball that much, man. It's my senior year. I told myself I'm gonna stand in the pocket and throw the ball. That's all I'm gonna do. And some of my rushes came from short yardage where I had to go over the pile or scramble for a play that might happen. But that's what it was. Coach Holmes knew it was just sometimes you could call quarterback design runs that I would be okay with.
be honest with me, out of curiosity, does he even now with him coaching you in the USFL, does he even get irritated with you wanting to, step
Oh yeah.
take them?
Oh yeah. Because he's one coach that I've been with him since I've been in college, so he knows my tendencies. He knows when I don't like a play. He knows when I'm fooling. He knows when I'm locked. He knows everything. So he would literally call out sometimes, like when I'm shaking my head, like I don't like that call, coach. Like something right about that call, coach. He'll say it on the mic, and I'll be laughing. All right, I'll run it for you, coach. Let's go. Then we get to the sideline, and he'll explain to me. I'm like, all right, I got you. Back on the field again. I'm shaking my head, coach. I don't like that call, coach. So, but it's just the connection we've had. I've known him for almost going on 10 years now. It's 2024 now. So I've known Coach Holtz for 10 years. So we have a great connection, I'll tell you that.
Oh, I guess fast forwarding. So you did win first team all CUSA accolades in your final season. I believe I had mentioned it before, but you were the offensive player of the year for CUSA.
Yep.
And like I said, we'll get into kind of your impact there with the Bulldogs, but even fast forwarding past that, in 2020, you would went undrafted in the 2020 NFL Draft. Obviously, that was a year of uncertainty for a lot of players,
Yeah,
and
Kobe year, buddy.
I
Kobe year.
I got my own arguments for that because I think a lot of people
Hey, man.
suffered from that. Um,
It's just tough when you think about the stats when they brought out about how many people got drafted, how many people had the opportunity to have pro day.
right.
It's just, so, but it was COVID year, man. A lot of, like you said, a lot of uncertainties.
It definitely hindered a lot of that process that normally would take place to give everybody a fair advantage, objectively speaking. But so you go undrafted, you're ultimately signed to the Patriots in May of 2020. I believe in August that they let you go. You ended up afterwards, you had a stint with the Canadian Football League with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I believe you were there for a few months or the duration of the season. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It was like end of April to September, so almost half a year, a little bit. So great time up there. I wish it would have snowed a little bit when I was up there, so I could feel how the Canadians feel when they have the big blizzards and they just go about daily life. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, man, it was a great time in Canada, man.
Well, now here we are, and this is where the starting point, this is where our conversation is going to start here. You have seen two championships. You propelled the Stallions to one. Obviously, last year you were sidelined by injury, but you still, hey, you got two rings. So
Two of them things, baby.
you're going for your third right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to give him the intro he deserves. You got to find him and follow him on his socials at Jmar_Smith on Twitter, at Jmar Smith on Instagram, two-time USFL champion, the man, the myth, the legend, Jmar Smith on the
My
show
man, my
podcast.
man, my man, Key, man. I just appreciate you for having me, bro.
Thank you for standing, sitting here and suffering through that intro as best way I could. Too damn long, but how you been, buddy?
Can't complain, man. Just been working every day. Just stacking some money before the season starts. Working out after work, just trying to stay in shape, trying to make sure my strength level is there. Making sure I throw whenever I can. Just stay on top of the game. But very, very excited for the season that's coming, man.
My goodness, dude. You know what? I go back, one of my favorite highlights of last year, and I teased the episode, today. I tweeted it out, that video of you connecting with Slim on that first touchdown, the first drive, first play of this
First play,
last year. And that I felt was kind of set the tone,
man.
even though
Like,
the unforeseen happened, it set the tone for what this team was about. And it
definitely.
gives me chills thinking about it,
I'm
dude.
getting chills thinking about it right now, bro. Every time I see that clip, bro, I just think about the mindset I was in before that game. I was like, I'm going out here. I tell all my receivers, if I say I'm in right field today, just know that ball is coming out pretty high. All right, I'm throwing it wherever I see you. That's where I'm throwing the ball. But going to that game, I felt good, man. I just had a goal set for the season, just trying to dominate every week, man. And New Jersey, that was a great team, RP,
Yeah.
respect, RP. Uh, it's just they came out in the same defense that we saw from last year. Kind of the defensive coordinator was different, but he kept the same principles. I just knew if this one player moved, I knew exactly where this ball was going. That's why, like you see in the clip, like it was like night and day. I rolled out, bam, hit my feet, ball was gone. He made one step, man. I let the ball go, but it just, like you said, it set the tone for that season, man. Just the uncertainties that happened in that game with a lot of players, including myself. But like you said, man, we came out with the victory, and we got two of them, and the best one's the next one for sure.
And, I don't like to kind of reflect on these sort of things, but when you go back to the play that got injured, take me kind of through because it was that same game, correct?
Yeah, go right at the halftime, man.
Were you trying to advocate because I feel like you're the type of person that's like, get my ass back out on the field.
I told coach I said I'm good, but I can't feel my hand, so we can do whatever. I just can't feel my hand. So going to the play, we was in the red zone. We made a play. I made a play to Marlon. He got hurt, unfortunately. and then he tore his Achilles. I saw it happening too. And then the next play we ran the ball, and then we called a reverse. So I'm like, all right, I got a job to do. If everybody has a job, I know I had a job to do. So hand the ball off, the play goes on. Is a defensive end right here. So I literally go and just try to do my job and block him. Literally, just try to block him. Somehow, some way, I shocked my hands too hard somehow. Avion went back inside and he got yards to like the 3 yard line. He went back inside, and if you look up the clip, I'm literally setting a pick like I'm in basketball on the guy that I just blocked. So after the play happens, I'm like, yeah, let's go, baby. And Coach O was talking in my ear. I'm trying to do signals, but my hand wouldn't move. I'm like, and I looked to the sideline. I said, I can't move my hand. And then I literally just walked to the sideline. I walked by Alex, who always had his helmet on. I said, go in. I can't feel my hand. And that was it, literally.
My goodness, dude.
Yeah, man.
I was like, to go from what
Yeah.
had just happened the drive before. Yeah, there was a sequence
Yeah.
before, and then to just have that, it was almost like a blink of an eye, just seeing
Yeah.
that on the
Oh
sideline.
yeah, trust me. When I got in the locker room, it was Dr. Carter from I think he's with UAB. I think he's with Dr. Andrews specialty clinic and everything. So I went in there, he tested out the hand, he did one test. I can do it now, but he did this, he grabbed the knuckle and he said, bend your finger. And my finger did this. He looked at me and shook his head. I was like, nah, I'll talk to you after the game. So that's when on the sideline you see me buddy tape my finger because I'm trying to go in. And I can catch gun snap. Gun snap was easy, throwing the ball, whatever. There's gonna be a timing point where we have to go in the center. So I said, let's go in the center. The ball hit my finger and I dropped the ball. I said, nah, I can't. You know what I mean? I didn't have any strength. Like I tried. I wanted to get a shot, even though I probably couldn't. But I wanted to stay in, But for me to try to sacrifice for shots and then can't feel my hand trying to take a snap on the center when we're going to need it, that would put the team at risk, and I didn't want to do that. So
Well, you talk about, I guess, going in, that prepares you into the off season. Obviously, you never prepare or plan
yep.
for injury, but it kind of gives you kind of a head start on, okay, I can just prepare and get ready for next season.
Yep.
What was the rehabilitation process like? And would you say that you're kind of back to 100%?
Oh yeah, I've been back to 100% when the season just about toward the end of last season. The rehab process was tough. Just trying to get full motion. Really, like it took me a while to get like this. You really couldn't tell I had surgery unless I showed you my
Yeah.
scar. You know what I mean? But other than that, man, the therapist I had, man, she didn't take it light on me, man. It was her and a tool, man. It was some days I wanted to cry, but you can't let out tears, man. But it was tough, man. Just knowing, she just trying to break the scar tissue down, just trying to build flexion in my finger, trying to get my hand back in full motion so I don't think about, all right, let's bend your hand. Let's not think about the screws that's in your hand. So, but man, she tested me a couple days, man. I promise you, man. She had me in there biting the towel some days, man. But and also I have an unnecessary rice bucket in here as well. Yeah, man. Just trying to keep building hand strength, man. Just trying to be preventative now, you know what I mean? So,
you talk about, I kind of want to kind of pivot here. So for those that don't necessarily know you as the person, let me kind of give firsthand perspective from, obviously we had conversations in passing. Everything was kind of small this past year. For those that don't know, I worked on the social media side.
my man was in the action, man. He was in there.
What can I say? Anyway, no, in our conversations, a lot of things that I took from having conversations with you, first and foremost, your body language, when you talk to someone, you are one of the most positive, well-mannered, like just a all-around selfless, genuine individual. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like you command respect and you command the room when you're in there, and your presence is vibrant. And I've always wondered, because I know that you kind of talked about this. I caught you kind of having a conversation with, I believe, Scooby one time, talking about your time with New England. And you had talked about some conversations you had, I believe, with Tom, if I'm not mistaken, how to compose yourself as a quarterback. I want to kind of go back because Bill Belichick's in the news right now if you haven't been checking as of late. And obviously, he was a former head coach. Guys, being around guys like Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, how has that formulated you and molded you as a quarterback now, and how you've kind of carried yourself? Or has it even obviously spanned? Your dad played in the league as well. So having those guys as kind of some influences in your life, Skip Holtz as well. How has that molded you to become the quarterback that you are now?
Uh, mentally, just
Mhm.
I've mentally grown the biggest when from when I was a senior to the small time I was with the Patriots, and then over time just learning from guys. I can't say when I was in high school and a little bit in college I wasn't a vocal leader. I had to learn from guys. I learned from Jeff Driscoll, who came from Florida, transferred to Louisiana Tech. Uh, all of our defensive guys at Louisiana Tech that we had, I could go through the gallery of people that we had, but Xavier Woods is one that everybody would know.
Mhm.
Probably Vernon Butler, Contrell Bryce was with I think he's with DC Defenders. Just a lot of guys I've learned over the years just how to be a leader. Like I said, I wasn't vocal. I tried to lead in the weight room, on the field with play, just try to make sure I'm try to be the lead or the middle of the pack, but trying to lead the pack. Whatever I do, and then just when I was with the Patriots, it was blue collar. We're going to do our work. We're going to understand what we're doing. We're going to know everything. We're going to know what everybody's doing. And then just the lessons I learned with them, just about just doing your job, man. When I say they preach that, like, preach that, they really preach that, man. Like, it's no joke. Like, do your job, do your job, all right?
All right.
Uh, and then when I got to Canada, learned from Dane Evans and Jeremiah Masoli.
Okay.
Just two great guys, two starting quarterbacks for any team. Just two guys that was with the same team. Learn how to lead from them, how they carry themselves. Just when I saw them in practice, how they lead each other. They're both taking starter reps, and I was like, "What's going on? Who's a starter?" But just how they was leading, how they were doing things, and just how they just went about business. It makes you wonder, like, all right, I can do this. How can I do that? How can I be better at doing that? And just like I said, over the years, just trying to learn from guys, understand how they do things, and just mold it into my game, and then just be myself, man. That's all I can do.
Heck yeah, dude. No, I mean, like, you definitely compose yourself in such a way that it's just like, man, that's like, as someone it just, I don't know. I envy
I
that.
appreciate that, man.
That's a really
I
cool.
ain't gonna lie, man. It took a lot. In college I wasn't like this. People say I was nonchalant or didn't care. Maybe I was just walking around with headphones on. Maybe I just wanted to be to myself. That was just me. I always wanted to be to myself. Like, but over the years I learned that, you have to expand a little bit, be more of a people's person. And, if you in the business I'm trying to be in, which is being a quarterback of a professional team, you have to be a leader. You have to be a vocal leader. You have to be have to be a person that people want to follow. You know what I mean? So just have to, I just had to grow up a little bit. I'll say that.
I guess the best way to summarize that is, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I
There
don't.
you go, man. It's been a lot of times that happened, so it
Well,
takes a lot to step in those shoes too, man, because a lot of people don't want to be uncomfortable. So
Well, speaking of comfort, there's nothing more comfortable than being in a hometown, and flashback to your high school days at Meridian, when you were with the Wildcats. Shout out to the Wildcats, Meridian,
shout out to the
Mississippi.
Wildcats,
Oh,
baby. We just hired a new coach too. I gotta do some, bio work because I think he played at Southern Miss.
all right, all right.
little rivalry right there. I don't know, but hey, as long
Well,
as we're trying to win, I don't mind. You know what I mean?
no, you bring up a good point. Talking about, Mississippi as a state as a whole, I've never, obviously, I think of, states like, and this is no offense whatsoever on the state of Mississippi, but you think about the South they breed a lot of football product. Mississippi isn't really one of those states that
No,
comes.
it's the truth. No, it's the truth. Every time people have arguments about who state has better hospitals, I just sit back and be like, "Hey, man, y'all got it." Just because I feel like, and a lot of people that have came from Mississippi but had some opportunities do feel like we don't have the horizon of opportunities that other people have.
Right,
We
right.
are in Mississippi. If you know anything about Mississippi, we're dead last in just about every category besides murders, which I hate that, but just about every category, I'm just saying.
Oh, J-Lo.
I'm just saying, just being real, I hate to say that. But we are the kind of last and everything. So a lot of people just we don't feel like we get the opportunity that a lot of people have, like Florida gets, like California, like Texas get.
Right.
So, but when we do get the opportunity, we try to make the best of it. I will say that.
When you talk about the community as a whole and how it molded you into the person you are, what are some of the intangibles you took away from your hometown?
Winning.
Winning.
If you
Okay.
don't win, you're gonna get talked about. I'll put it to you that way. Just the community's behind you. You shouldn't have no reason to not go out there and put your best foot forward, because you got your last name behind you. You got your city, which I represented in high school, in front of you. So you just got to go out there, not be foolish with some of the things you do.
Mhm.
Like again, you represent your hometown for sure, and just go out there and win. My high school, I say we probably top 10 in some of the top high schools in the state. Before 2015 and down, we're probably like top 5. I think our record is like pretty well as a high school. So it was a standard, really. When I got to college, the weight room was easy for me, really. It was the conditioning part that was different from high school to college. But when I was in high school, man, we got out there. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It was every day full pass, just about. We only had one walkthrough day. Rain, sleet, or snow, we was out practicing. Only time we did practice it was thunder. So yeah,
Thunder
we
and
got
lightning.
out there, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Um, I guess like, you talk about kind of so when you got to high school, going back to the baseball football conversation, was it baseball first love, football first love? I mean, I guess you were
Oh,
born in a family of
yeah.
football. I would imagine football. But
Well, that's a lot of people think, but my first sport I ever played was baseball, because at a young age, I don't think my parents or grandparents didn't want me to play football at a young age, even though my dad played football.
Mhm.
So my first love was baseball. And then over the years, I started playing football. I didn't play quarterback until my ninth grade year. So it took me a while to, I always loved the position itself, like, oh, those guys are good, you know what I mean? So, but it took me a while to personally fall in love with the position. I compared it always to being a catcher or a pitcher, really, because you call the plays, you're in the center of everything, you see everything just about. And you kind of in control a little bit, you know what I mean? So that's when I fell in love with the sport, when I really compared it to catching. Yeah, that's when I was having fun with it.
Okay, out of curiosity, I'm not really much of a baseball guy, but who are some of the people that you looked up to in the sport of baseball that were
I
same?
can't say Derek Jeter because that's everybody's favorite player.
Appreciate it.
Though I watched DJ, you know what I mean? Derek Jeter, Rodriguez,
Mhm.
watched all those guys. But my favorite player was Adrian Beltre. I just like this game. I like how he had fun with the game. Um, Literally, you go any clip on any social platform, he's having fun. He's always joking with people. You never seen him really mad, unless he's probably mad at an umpire or something like that. Which we try to keep our emotions, but make bad calls sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, he was a beast at the plate. He had a great glove at third base, and that was one of the positions I really wanted to play, was third base. And I kind of molded my hitting style after him, just trying to battle and just his hitting style and everything. So yeah, he was one of my favorite players.
So talk about your arrival to high school and the playing at the high school level of baseball and football. What was it like navigating both lives and having that balance? And obviously, off season had to be right out of baseball. Hey, bud, back into football. Just
Yep. Yep.
got a kick in your butt every single
Yep.
free. Oh,
Uh, the transition was from throwing a football to throwing a baseball. Really,
oh
you may
yeah.
have more of a 3/4 throw whenever you was in football. Really, then baseball at pitching, I really did not have more control when I was over the top, or at third base over the top, or even at catching over the top.
Right.
So I had to. Then the weight difference, the ball grip, and everything had to get adjusted to. Then the worst one was going from baseball to football. That was the worst one, because if I didn't have a football thrown with me, it took about a good week to get back in rhythm of throwing that football. You know what I mean? So, but my favorite moments was in college, man. When it was spring football, and then baseball is in the same time. So, like I said, I played 2 years at Tech baseball until I had to have surgery on my knee, which I didn't go back after that.
Mm.
It was literally Coach Holtz will tell you, even if you ask him, literally go to football spring practice, hurry up and shower, run over across the street to the baseball game or practice or whatever. Like I have an instance where we played Arkansas football practice, had to hurry up and shower, run over, got dressed, tried to go warm up. Get to the bottom of the inning. I get there like the third or fourth inning, so I get there early enough in the game, you know. But the coach called me to go in to pinch run for one of our hitters. He had just got on with a double. He said, "Go pinch run." I was like, "Oh, for real?" So I go out there. So I get him. I said, "Oh man," I said, "Look, this is the first thing." I said, "Don't get picked off." The first move, I almost get picked off. I was like, "God, I almost ruined everything." So I was like, all right, we're gonna be right. I said, all right, cool, cool, cool. So we had a lefty slugger, I remember too. He hit one off the wall. As soon as he hit it, I'm gone. You know what I mean? Get to home play outside. We went. I said, hey, I got in. So that was one of the. I think Arkansas was ranked at that time too. So that was one of the coolest moments for me, and like the springtime atmospheres for sure.
Arkansas, side note, Arkansas is nasty at baseball. They're a pretty good
Oh
program.
yeah, they had some guys throwing some cheese up there, baby.
Yeah, but postseason comes around, they kind of tuck their tails, but it's a
Yeah.
different story for a different day. Anyway, reverting back to the time in high school and then dip over to college, obviously. So I kind of want to get a sense for your senior year. So you get the offer. Go back to the Padres deal because that interested me. I was taken aback when I saw that, and I heard that.
Yeah, a
Um,
lot of people don't know that, man.
what? Tell me the story behind
So
the MLB stock. Like I don't know how the
I
hell.
can I can tell you literally how it happened. Literally, so
Okay.
we somehow my dad got me in a camp invite to it was the East Coast Pro Showcase. They had it in Syracuse, New York. I think that's where it was at.
Okay.
So that's where the final destination is at, right? So that's why it was a tryout in Jackson. We go there, it's raining in Jackson. I'm like, this is not a good day. I'm an outfielder at the time. I'm like, this is not a good day for outfield. We could do PFPs and everything. So I go out there, I hit well, I hit everything, middle, the right field. I feel great. So we get the throwing. I was like, all right, bro, I'm just gonna just chunk it today. Great. And I was like, man, that was a great day. So I think a week or two go by, and I get an email from the Miami Marlins scout team. I was like, I didn't try out for them. And they was like, we want you on the team, blah, blah, blah. We're gonna fly you out to Marietta, Georgia, then you'll be with the team. This was in beginning of May. So I get to Marietta, Georgia, like the middle of May, and I'm gone the whole summer. Like I did no football camps, nothing, no 707 camps, no football workouts, no nothing, no business, no nothing. Straight baseball. So that's where I personally feel like I lost some of the offers at because I didn't attend some of the football stuff which they wanted to see.
Yeah.
But you know, it was a free opportunity, man. The only thing I had to pay for was toothpaste and deodorant for the whole summer. That's it.
So that didn't intrude when you were going to do all that during the summer. That didn't intrude with your regimen that you had with football, or
No, not at all. You know, I still had my football workouts, whatever. So I did that in the meantime. We ran just about every day. Um, but man, when I tell you, when I got there, it was literally like a month and a half in Marietta. We played baseball every day. I never thought I could play more baseball, but we played baseball all day, every day. Literally, it was like an 8 to 5. We're playing baseball.
my
So
goodness.
I remember the game like it was yesterday. It was a pitcher. His name is DeMarcus Evans. He's from Petal, Mississippi. He was on the team before I even got there. So
Mhm.
he already had a buzz. He was throwing like 94, 95 or whatever. And
Mhm.
so I got there and then he was pitching that game and I was catching. So, you know, it was a nice little combo. And then I got to hit. And it was like one of the pitchers that they were really looking at. Like I remember I walked up there, it was like cameras everywhere. I was like, oh, they must be looking at him because I don't think they know me. You know, I'm from Meridian. This is how we feel. Like I'm from old Meridian, Mississippi. They're not looking at me. So I get up there. He throw two in the dirt. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be easy. He threw a two seamer. I remember like it was yesterday. He's a lefty. He threw a two seamer. It, boy, it went right into the zone. I just swung. Literally, I just see the ball just going dead center. I was like, well, that's gone. And I jog around the bases. Then after that game, that's when my name got on the radar. That's the art.
Man,
Before that, I was never on the radar for nothing. Probably high school accolades a little bit. I did pretty well in high school, but as for draft stock and everything, Nah, not before that. But when we had that moment in that tournament, man, that's when everything changed for me, man.
Off topic real quick. I'd like to consider myself a sports memorabilia connoisseur. I mean, if you watch the podcast on YouTube, you look behind me, you see I got all the Broncos memorabilia, the Baker Mayfield jersey. It's a little bit disorganized, but don't hold it against me. Nevertheless, I just have a deep appreciation for memorabilia because I feel that each piece tells a tremendous story and conveys a lot about a team's history. But when I arrived at the USFL last season, contributing as one of their on-site social media producers, I was quickly introduced firsthand to one of the leading clothing brands, not only within the USFL, but in leagues such as the Canadian Football League, the Arena Football League, Minor League Baseball, National Basketball Association, and those are just to name a few. This brand has propelled themselves and cemented themselves as the leaders in defunct team merchandise and memorabilia. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to share that Strive Sports Podcast, Strive Sports Productions, has teamed up with the leader in USFL merchandise, Royal Retros. From hats and jerseys to t-shirts and replica football helmets, they've got everything. Royal Retros has become a pioneer in paying homage to classic sports teams. And whether you are a fan of basketball, baseball, football, or even hockey, Royal Retros has something for everyone. As a matter of fact, with the holiday season just right around the corner, get ahead on your shopping list right now and head on over to their website. As a matter of fact, get your phone out and you can scan the bottom left QR code located in the bottom left corner of the screen, and it'll prompt you and take you over to the Royal Retros website. Once there, feel free to peruse the site. They've got everything: basketball, baseball, hockey, football. Like I said, one of the best, if not the best, in defunct team merchandise and memorabilia. And once you're at checkout, go ahead and use promo code STRIVE. That's promo code STRIVE, STRIVE. Save yourself 10% on your next purchase with them. A great way to support the leaders in defunct team merchandise and memorabilia, and a great way to support the show. Big shout out to Royal Retros for partnering with us and allowing us to join them on this opportunity. Pick back up where we left off. When you went to those, especially the showcase you talked about where you hit the home run off the two-seamer, so how many scouts were in attendance, and did your phone start going off the ringer?
Literally, yes. I remember it was like the beginning of Twitter. I never had Twitter. I think I still got the screenshot picture. It was like, they were like, oh my God, Jamar Smith for the Miami Marlin Scout team had a exit velocity of 124 point whatever. And I still got the screenshot. I promise you. I will show you whenever I find it. So nobody thinks I'm lying. So when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, man, we might have a chance, bro. Like we might have a chance. So I always try to do good. I remember the last tournament we had, I had like 3 home runs. It was cheating. It was the only tournament we had aluminum bats. Every other tournament we had wood bats, of course. But this one we had aluminum. I was teeing off on them. I remember. So that stint with the Miami Marlin Scout team ended. So I went to Bradenton, Florida, and played with the I think it was the African American USA team.
Okay.
It was like 3 weeks there. It was like a training camp, but playing against each other. Some of the top players in the country. Which, hey man, it was some guys, man. So I felt good. I'm telling you, man. Every time people from Mississippi go somewhere, like little old Meridian, Mississippi, out here with these people, you know what I mean? So that ended. So then now we get to East Coast Pro Showcase.
Yeah.
Now we get there, and I'm hitting great. The only thing that happened, I got thrown out at home.
Oh my God.
I got it. I thought I had the wheels, but I got
yeah.
No, man, it was a great time, man. Like I said, that was when my I guess you say draft stock went up. But that whole summer, man, I was going to play baseball, man. That's when my draft stock went from 0 to noticeable. So, but yeah, man.
Well, last thing on the baseball topic, then we'll switch back over to football. It's got to be a lot of pressure as a young kid, man. You got to be 17, 18 at the time, and you're getting all this recognition at the professional scale. And then contracts get into the discussion. You're like, bro, I'm just like 18. I just bought got a car.
17. You're 17 looking at, even though taxes, your agent, whatever, but you're still 17 looking at 6 figures. Man, back then, that was a lot of money. Like, even though it's still a lot of money, but kids nowadays, they making
Oh yeah. And
2, 3 million NIL deals. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
but like I said, 6 figures to a 17-year-old is a lot of money. But yeah, man, that's all I say.
Well, pivoting. So go back over to football, man. So your senior year at Meridian, you start to gain some traction. Obviously, some of the schools that I mentioned previously had definitely had you on their radar, teams such as Mississippi State, Memphis. Ultimately, it was Louisiana Tech that you would take your talents to. But talk about that recruitment process throughout, maybe even going back to your sophomore year, sophomore through senior year. Did you, first and foremost, shame on me for just assuming, did you start all 4 year or for?
No. So first go to the offer. Let's go. I got my first offer from Mississippi State in the
Okay.
ninth grade. It was really before the season, kind of after the season. It was at 7-on-7 camp. We lost in the championship. Literally talked to Dan Mullen. He said, "Call me when y'all get on the bus. When y'all get out of Starkville." I called him and said, "All right, we're going to give you a scholarship." I was like, "Oh, got a scholarship at Mississippi State." But uh, but no, my ninth grade year, I I played a little bit the first game. I played the pickup. I played the garbage hours the first game. I remember that we played Clinton High School. My first game. I think the second game we played Wayne County. And tell you about this about the Wayne County. I just thought about it. So that was my first game actually playing in a big time game because Wayne County is a big rival for us in Meridian.
Right.
And so to me, it's two seniors. It's a senior that starts. He's a starting quarterback and a starting defensive back, which he was a great player. So we have another senior, we have a junior, a sophomore, and then it's me. So I'm thinking I'm fifth, I'm fifth on the roster, whatever. I'm just waiting my opportunity. So the opportunity comes. I remember we were losing. I think we were losing the title with Wayne County, and the starting quarterback go down with a cramp.
Ooh.
But everybody think it's his shoe. Everybody pointed at his shoe. No, he's pointing at his calf. It's like I'm catching the cramp. So I'm literally down the field playing toss with somebody else. I forgot who I was playing toss with. And it was like, Jamar. I was like, me? What, me go in? I was like, all right. So I got my helmet and I remember we ran, it was called Blue 24. I remember we called it it's a smash concept, a hitch in the corner. I remember like it was yesterday. So I literally just dropped back and just throw it to who I know running the corner out. He called it sport. And then I started playing a little bit. I started every game after that until I had a high ankle sprain. And then I didn't play the rest. No, I played in our South State game. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, I ain't gonna say I started the whole season, but majority of the season I played, started most of the games, and then after that I started the rest of the games. So
Forgive me, I never really did the research on the Wildcat success as well, as
yeah,
far as
yeah.
was there so state title runs. We got to talk about this. What was their oh no, that's a very touchy topic. I was just trying to see if there was any sort of context on the state title runs, how that even works. Because so I did my last episode last year technically with Marlon.
Mhm.
Obviously he's from Alabama. He played his high school ball at Alabama.
He got a couple of state championships, I think.
They got like these certain titles where it's like quarter title, and then they've
Oh
got like
yeah.
district title.
So
It's confusing. I don't know how they do it
yeah,
down
we
where you
just
are.
got so it's I think it's 7A now, but when I was in high school, it was 5A.
Okay.
Was it 6A? No, I think it was 6A. I think it was 6A.
Okay.
So you got the first round, second round, then you got South State, and then you have the state.
Okay.
So how ours is separated is North and South. That's how most divisions are. It's like division is like 6A division three, and then it's the ones on the bottom. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's how it was separated. So yeah, man.
Oh,
Our freshman year we should have won for sure. My freshman year we should have won. My junior year, gosh, that was the year, man.
it didn't happen. You came up short all so just two times you had made it to the title
Yeah,
game.
my 10th grade year, literally, My 10th grade year and my senior year, we played a school called D'Iberville. They ran the same defense my 10th grade year and my 12th grade year. We could not stop it for some reason. They had a spy on me like I was running. You saw the stats.
Yeah, the 800 yards from
Bro,
the
like, come
year.
on, man. We couldn't stop it for nothing. Like, we'll start off like 14-0. We get it going. They switched the defense to what they did. I remember my 10th grade year, we couldn't.
Man. So I guess translate that over to what was kind of when did scouts start to be like, this guy's got it. We want him here. We want him playing for us. When did you start kind of getting that traction from that you may have already said this. Was it your sophomore or junior year when you started to get the offers funneling through?
It was my sophomore year. Like I said, my first offers was from Mississippi State.
Yeah.
They offered me out the 707 camp
Mhm.
my ninth grade year. And then after that, all the offers started rolling in.
So, okay. All right. What were some of the obviously Memphis, obviously Louisiana Tech, yeah. So what were some of the what surprised you? How many offers were we looking at? What was the
I
what
think
was
I ended up with like 14 offers. I think the biggest one, to me was Mississippi State. It's an hour and 30 from my hometown from Meridian, so it's right down the road. I wanted to play for Dan Mullen. Dak Prescott was there, of course. He was my guy. He still is my guy, even though I am an Eagles fan,
okay.
even though I'm kind of pissed off right now. But yeah.
Oh
Um,
man.
but yeah.
Sorry
So
about the vacation to Cancun early. Didn't mean to. We don't need to talk about
Baker
that.
Mayfield, man. Baker Mayfield.
Well.
It's really our fault. It's really our fault. It's really the Eagles' fault because we're on the score. We didn't score nothing. Jake Elliott showed up every week, and you see that.
This man, he's about to blow a gasket. Hey, look,
I'm a diehard Eagles fan, man. I don't like that, man.
fly Eagles fly. We'll get back to that on a rainy day. All right. So you end up going to Ruston, Louisiana, and I want to kind of know the recruiting process to Ruston. What were some of the preliminary conversations? What drove you to the school, and what really gravitated you to the community and the
Yep.
university?
It was really, I give all credits to Tim Rattay. He played at Louisiana Tech 97, 99. He was the quarterback then. I
Mhm.
remember we went on, me and my father went on a visit, and they knew each other because that was when Alabama played Louisiana Tech. I kind of, our school kind of like 2-0 right now against Bama. You know what I'm saying? But when they was connecting on that visit, it just like, all right, this could be home. They know each other. I feel comfortable. I actually know that, well, at that time, he wasn't the quarterback's coach. Then I was like, he's a quarterback, he's a quarterback's coach. Like, it makes sense, to be here with the guy that's been in the system, been in the league or whatever. But yeah, man, it was Joseph Sloan, Coach Holtz, of course,
Yeah.
um, Coach Jabbar Jaluk. I think he was at Florida. I don't know where he's at now, but
Yeah.
all these guys, they and Coach Blake Baker, who's at LSU right now.
Yeah. Hey.
But I say they was at Meridian High with about 3 Chargers back then next to each other, just about every other week, man. When I say that, like, I really mean that, and they show love. Then they told me I could play baseball as well. That what got me going. I
Mhm.
was like, oh yeah, I can play 2 sports in college. It's literally a dream right now.
Mhm.
But they really showed love. They made it feel like home. They made me feel like Jamar instead of number 8.
All right.
It just felt like the brotherhood that we used to preach. And I don't think it's a brotherhood that now, but we're gonna pray for them, man. We're gonna see what they do coming forward.
Hey.
But it just everything that they preached to the parents and everything, they really lived it. They showed love to us, and that what made me really commit to them. So
What was that first interaction like with Coach Skip? What was the first interaction that you had with him? And
I remember face was red. So he's gonna hate me for saying this, but he was a little bit chubbier. Just a little bit.
come on, man.
Just a tad, just a tad. But no, he was still the same guy, just the giddy, the giddy coach, just always happy, loving, enthused. Um, Face is always red when he's excited. Um, but you can't do nothing but just love Coach Holtz, man. Just the stories you can learn from him, just the person he is. He is a great guy. Like outside of coaching, well, I can't tell you how many times he's lended a hand. Um, did things for us when he didn't have to. A lot of people don't know he kind of risked his job for a lot of the injured players last year, just with some of the stuff that we was trying to battle with the league that's RP right now. But just like I say, he's a great guy and everything he does, and like I say, he's always enthused, so you can always expect that from him. So.
I kind of take that away from the outset. Obviously, he is a player's coach. I think that's why a lot of people buy into the culture. That's so cliche anymore.
It's
Uh,
always cliche, but when you see it and you live it and you've been in it, and you preach it like he does, you can't do nothing but believe in it.
And would you agree that a lot of what he teaches, a lot of his coaching philosophies really simplify the game, even though they're very complex for opposing defenses and offenses to kind of navigate and understand? I mean, we've seen that true in this league that we're in right now, or at least in the previous league, the USFL. I mean, I don't know. Care to add some perspective on that?
Yeah, it's he always said this in college. Even it's a professional league now. It's faster, it's better players, but just keep the game simple. Pick up the ball and throw it to first base. He always told me that, of course, because I'm a baseball guy. But he always uses analogies. It's just simple as picking the ball up and throwing to first base. You know, just like I always tell people, well, I know the system like the back of my hand. Like I can tell you every play in my head. Like I can tell you plays that we ran in 2015, 16, 17. I can tell you everything. But one thing I will say, we have adjusted. We have kept it simple. It has everybody on the team. Everybody will tell you this is a very simple offense.
Mhm.
But the things that you can plug in and take out and plug in and remove and then plug in and adjust that and plug in. That's what make it complex. That's what give the defense confusion because it looks like the same play we just ran, but I promise you it's not. You probably won't run that play no more.
It is a week to week basis when
Oh
they're
yeah, I promise you that. So he's always had a great staff. He's always spent countless hours and time and times and times and times in the film room and just trying to perfect his craft. This is his offense, so he's going to take pride in it.
understanding his offense. How did that kind of push you whenever you were at the collegiate level? Understanding, I mean, you get your first introduction to his offense, and from what you just told me, you're like, okay, everything is kind of like a buffet. We're gonna
Mhm.
add, we're gonna remove things,
Yep.
week to week. How is that learning curve and trying to adapt to that at the collegiate level? Because I know your learning capacity, you're barely tagging on to get to the level.
Oh, that first year when I was the first year when I wasn't playing the redshirt year, it was tough in the film room, man. I would watch film, but it would be like, what am I watching? Then I had to learn how to watch film. Then I had to learn how to take notes. Then I had to learn how to take notes that I understand, not just taking notes of what he's saying or just writing, like taking notes so you understand the bits and pieces of what you're writing. So
Right.
um it was for me, man. I used to sleep in the film room, man. I remember camp. I used to have a mattress in there, pillow cover in the quarterback film room, just standing there before meetings, after me, sleep, take a nap, wake up, watch film. Man, once I learned how to do stuff, I kind of fall in love with it, and once I found how to watch film and what I'm looking for, I definitely fell in love with it.
Would you say you're appreciative of that entire phase and that entire development looking back?
I love watching film, man. Everyone's gonna show you a key. I just know that. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't say much because the season's starting, but just know everybody shows a key. I promise you that.
That's some okay. All right. All right. Well, so you get into your career at Tech and moving back. So you redshirt your first year, the second year, which is technically your sophomore year, but redshirt freshman year. You kind of see your first action. I believe you played in 7 games. I want to I saw
Yeah,
it game.
I started Arkansas and then played in the bits and pieces games after that. So yeah, I think it's 7. Yeah, I think it's about right.
Take me through the emotions and what that was like trying to
Oh,
get
it
it.
was exciting, man. I remember, I hate that the incident happened with my man Ryan Higgins.
Mhm.
Um, just incident with the law. Just bad incident. Got suspended for 1 game, and I remember I got the call from Coach Holtz. Brought me in the office. It was like, all right, they got an opportunity right here. We're going to send fall camp. I was like, got a chance to start. I was like, okay, cool. Just going from it's everyone's dream just to red shirt. Then the next year that you get to play, start that game. Like even though I wanted to start the whole season, but I knew that it was duties. I knew he was a fifth year senior. I knew he was a starter, but I knew this was my opportunity to put myself on the map. You know what I mean? My first game against an SEC team. I was like, okay, so we go out there. I ain't gonna lie, driving up to Arkansas, I was nervous. I was like, I'm a bit nervous. This is a collegiate level, first time on TV. They were hyping the game up, and then my mom called. But then my mom called, and all the nerves went away. I was like, all right, we cool. My mom called. I'm just ready to play. And then I remember we got to the stadium, and then I just hear my first time really hearing Woo Pig Suey. I still hate that. Oh,
me too.
It truly gives me a headache. So I remember we go out the pregame. It's pretty packed. It's not full around, but it's pretty packed. Nice crowd for pregame.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the quarterbacks, all the specialists. We're doing our thing. Then we go back in, and then we get ready to come out for the game. Mm-hmm. When I tell you the intensity went to the sky, I was like, God, this was 90+ thousand little light. I said, okay, we're in for a treat today. Then they had a big head of me, and I was like, oh man, this is the dream. But this is exciting right now. But
someone get my inhaler.
Literally, let me calm down. Let me feel my feet on the turf a little bit. Let me just calm myself down. And I remember the only thing Coach Holtz told me, we're gonna run a simple play for you so you can get your nerves out. We ran a very simple play. The first play, we ran a running back screen. The first play.
Did it go well?
Oh no, we got like 6 yards. It was complete the pass. That's all I was worried about. I was worried about completing the pass, But I think we lost 21-20. At one point, I still take away. I threw a pick trying to force a ball to Trent Taylor. I shouldn't have threw it. I still remember I shouldn't have threw it. But I had a pretty decent game as a first timer. You know what I mean? So
it's pretty solid, J-Mo.
I got in the action with some hogs. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No. So taking from that and progressing forward, I mean, we can flash forward past your red shirt freshman year. Kind of getting onto the back half. I don't really want to get into too much depth because obviously we're going to pivot over to the NFL and then kind of pivot over to the USFL. So kind of keeping it short and sweet and pivoting towards your final 2 years with Louisiana Tech. You're at that point, at least in your redshirt junior year, you got 3 years under your belt. Kind of take me through that back stretch of your college career and kind of some of the goals you set for yourself, knowing that you were the guy. This has been your team now ever since you stepped foot on that Arkansas game.
Yeah.
How do you embrace that role going forward? And
I really had to learn how to lead. Like I really didn't understand the leadership role. Like you said, I wasn't voted captain because literally, I tried to lead the best as I can, but my teammates will tell you, like I just wasn't a vocal leader. Like you didn't see me as a rah-rah guy. You didn't see me in the middle of the paddle. I was there on the outside, just to myself, trying to stay calm. But when the action happened, I'm ready to go at it. Like on the sidelines, I'll talk to you, get everybody going. Right. But like I said, man, I remember my junior year. I remember I didn't. We had a awards banquet. I remember this was the mental change for me, really. Yeah. We had an awards banquet, and we give out a winners award. It was the Victors Club. That's what it was called, the Victors Club. And you had to grade a winner 8 out of the. You had to grade out 8 games. You had to grade a winner out of 8 games. So I didn't grade a winner that year, and I remember I felt terrible. We went to the Hawaii Bowl, was great, but I remember I didn't grade a winner. And at that time, Coach Tim Rattay was my quarterback coach before he left for the Redskins at the time, but the Commanders. Right. So he was like, I'm disappointed in your performance this year. I was like, okay, cool. I kind of took that to heart, never want to disappoint anyone, especially with me in general as a person, but with my play on the field, especially for a coach, So that offseason, I got invited to the Manning Passing Academy, which I learned from great guys. I learned from the Mannings. I asked them how to do things, how to do this, how to do that,
Mm.
and just the camaraderie I had there. And then going into my senior year, man, I had a goal to break his record, but I didn't because I missed 2 games. Could have got there a little bit, but I missed those 2 games. But I wanted to win conference. We had a chance to win it. Um, that's the one thing I wanted to do going out my senior year because it was kind of a standard. Most every senior got a chance to go to conference championship. But I kind of missed out on the opportunity. But we did something that the program hasn't seen in a very long time with the 10 wins. So at
Mhm.
least I got out there with something.
I was gonna say 10-1, 10-1, I believe in your last year as a Bulldog, and from there you were, I believe that same year it was offensive, as we said at the beginning of
If
this.
I didn't miss those 2 games, I was going to be the Conference USA MVP, and I'm not being cocky about that. But everyone knew what we were stepping with in Louisiana Tech that year.
Correct me if I'm wrong, off topic a little bit, but have they since, this is me, this is my ineptitude for college football showing right now with Louisiana Tech, have they since departed CUSA as conference, or are they still in there?
Shaking my head, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Nah, we still there.
With
A
all
lot of
this
teams have gotten, went to the next level, but we're still in Conference USA.
with all this movement, I mean, could you see them moving up or
Yeah, well, they getting, they doing renovations to the stadium. The campus looks amazing right now. Nothing when I left, it looks nothing like that now. But I want to see them get the better opportunity because more money would come in, more
Mm,
financial gains would come in. I hate to say it, but it wasn't that much money in the Conference USA for the program itself.
yeah.
I think going to another conference will help the players get more exposure, and like I said, more of a financial gain for everyone.
Well, you can call it what you want, but I'll call it sort of like a conference monopoly. I feel like all the big conferences are
Yeah,
adopting all the teams from the little conferences.
yep.
So honestly, I see that being inevitable in their future.
I thought, I really thought we was gonna go to the American Conference. That would have been a
That'd
nice
be a power
upgrade.
move.
So,
What
but
the hell?
right now, I don't think our boys ready for that competition there right now.
Well, well, we'll see. We'll see going forward. We'll see what happens.
Hey man, you see it right here, man. Ever loyal be, baby. It's gonna be right there with me.
Bleed red and blue, huh?
Yep.
I want to talk about kind of some of the connections you've had there. Obviously, two of your teammates from Louisiana Tech played with you in the USFL with the Birmingham Stallions, Adrian Hardy and Bobby Holly. Kind of talk about those.
O'Shea, you forgot O'Shea Dugas, Michael Rodriguez, Trey Ball. Hey, man, we had they was calling us the Birmingham Bulldogs at one point, baby.
Damn, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. All right,
Hey, man.
O'Shea, yes,
Hey,
as
man, we were the Birmingham Bulldogs for a minute.
hey, I wasn't in my defense, I wasn't there in season one. I was
Yep,
there.
yep, yep, that's true. I'll give you that. That's true. That's
I
true.
didn't do my journalism enough.
That's
So
true. No, you all good.
no, but in
All
general,
good.
talk about those relationships and how they've kind of translated over in the USFL. I guess it's got to have made kind of that transition a little bit easier, knowing that you guys have been around each other since your college days.
Yep. With O'Shea, I could just see what I need to do better so I can communicate with everybody else. Just ask O'Shea, see how everything's going with him. With Bobby, we know Bobby's on the offense, so he knows every call, passing and running. But he's really big, a big help in the run game
Mhm.
because sometimes I forget what calls we have because we changed so many calls. Again, I've had this offense since 2015. A lot of calls have been changed and went back. So Bobby has been a good help with that. And again with Adrian Hardy, I can do some signals with him that he know, but we're on the field and nobody else know. But I know that he knows the signals because we had him since college. You know what I mean? So it's things like that's a big time. It helps that you do have a coach that went like that coach at Louisiana Tech that knows some good players that have good connections that
Mhm.
can give a player opportunity. Like I said, we had Michael Rodriguez that had opportunity offensive line. We had Trey Baldwin, who was with us the first season, who had an opportunity at linebacker.
Right.
Trying to get some other guys in there. Carlos Henderson had an opportunity, which
Yeah.
like again, we try to give our guys opportunity. So like again, it's just a big thanks to Coach Holtz.
Yeah. So kind of segueing from your time with the Bulldogs, and we'll get back, obviously, we got more to talk about on Skip
It's
Holtz.
all good, man.
We'll get back to that, but pivoting over to your time after with the Bulldogs. So you get into 2020, spring 2020, you're preparing for the NFL draft. You're obviously in a season of uncertainty because out of left field, no pun intended, here comes COVID-19. And and we had this conversation before the podcast and maybe even said it during the beginning. I feel from the outset, looking at how you guys were treated, at least that class itself, you guys weren't given a fair,
Yeah.
you weren't given a fair evaluation given the
Oh, yeah. It's a
circumstances.
lot of guys, man. Just not even speaking for myself. I just know a lot of guys that didn't get the opportunity. Man, I remember the news about a disease going on in January. I remember I was feeling sick. I had to take a couple of days off of working out because I couldn't keep down water, like it was bad. So I probably had pre-COVID, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
then fast forward to March, that's when the outbreak happened. Like, oh, it's COVID-19 everywhere. We're going to cancel. I think it was March 18th, March 15th of that year when they said this is the last day that we're gonna have workouts. And I was like, I'm still at DME Academy in Daytona, Florida. Like, I'm not gonna have a pro day. Like, well, I just spent 4 months dedicating my body to this. Like, what do you mean I'm not gonna have a pro day? So a lot of guys were devastated off of that, and it took a toll from a lot of guys dedicated. I know every day I woke up at 5, going to DME Academy, working out with Coach Tom Shaw. Like, it was a group of us, man. We worked out every day. We grinded every day. We dedicated from some of us from December to the March, and then some of us did get an opportunity to have a personal pro day, and I had one in Monroe, Louisiana, which I'm thankful for that my agents, they got that together and got that for me. So, it was a tough time in 2020, man.
What were they kind of asking of you on your pro day? How was it kind of different from what you could display in a normal combine? Well, I guess
Yeah,
uh,
it was tough, man. We just had to do. I remember we just did a mock combine or pro day, whatever it is. We did the height, we did broad jump, vert, we did bench. I remember I did 20 on bench. I wanted to do 20. I wanted to do 23. I think RP Tavares Jackson, I think he did 22. So I wanted to do 23 on camera just so I could set a record, you know what I mean? But we
right.
had to film everything. We filmed the 5, we filmed the L drill, we filmed everything. And then we went to Neville High School. That's where I did my throwing at. So like I said, we filmed everything. All the recorders we sent out to teams and everything. So we just tried to do the best we could at that time because it wasn't any opportunity to have a pro day because all gyms just was about clothes. Every academy, my academy, they basically kicked me out and said we're shutting down because of COVID.
Uh,
So we just had to, we even got in trouble for doing the video at Neville. They found out that we did the video there and they got on my 8. So it was just a lot of stuff that year, man. So I'm very grateful that we did get something out there at that point in time.
well, now as far as getting into the draft and everything, I mean, so you get to the draft,
Mhm.
obviously everything is done kind of in a virtual setting. They didn't do it in person,
Yep.
obviously for COVID. Um, what was kind of the communication that was transpiring between you and your agent? Did you have kind of any preliminary idea of this team's going to be interested and where were you kind of seeing yourself considering the fact that I mean I really didn't get a chance to showcase what I was able to do
Yeah,
and
it was tough, man. I was just wondering who all got the film. And I remember it was 3 teams that came to Louisiana Tech and got me on the board. I remember those 3 teams. It was the Raiders, the Patriots, and the Seahawks. They
Hmm.
wanted me on the board and, talk football. And I did really well. The Patriots, they wanted me to dial in of why you do this, how you do that, how you do that. I was like, all right, cool. But I do remember those 3 teams. And when I remember the days go by, I think it's like day 3 or whatever. And my agent was like, we might have an opportunity here. I was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. He said, might go and draft. I was like, I don't care about that. I just want an opportunity. I just want to get in front of eyes and just showcase what I can do and do the best of my ability. And I hope I get an opportunity. So I remember I'm driving from Ruston to Meridian. I think I forgot what's going on. I forgot what's going on, but I'm driving to Meridian. And I get my agent's calling me. He was like, stay by your phone. I think we got an opportunity. At first, he told me the Raiders. I was like, oh, snap. I might go to Cali. You know what I mean? Oh, that's nice right there. But then he called back. He was like, all right, they just took somebody. I was like, dang. All right, that's cool. All right, just sit back. So I'm still driving. And then he was like, all right, I think we're going to get signed by the Patriots. I was like, the Patriots? I said, Bill Belichick? I was like, oh, that's fire. Because it was two coaches I always wanted to be coached by. It was Mike Tomlin, which he has a great record, of course, and
Right.
Bill Belichick, just about how he goes about things. My dad was with the Patriots, so I understood a little bit then, but I always wanted to get back to Foxborough. So when he said that, I was all this. And then when the news came, I was like, oh, yeah, we got a good opportunity right here, man. And I was just so excited to get mostly just the knowledge I was going to gain. You know, I really wanted to get an opportunity to go up there. Never got the opportunity to go up there. I literally got cut the day I was supposed to fly up there. Literally, my flight was at 1:30. I got cut at 11.
Oh.
I remember it was like, yes, I was packing my last bag and Miss Nancy called me. I was like, dang. But the knowledge, I can never take the knowledge and all the mental tolls they put on me, man. Just asking questions, man. You want to know, man, a play call in New England is a complex sentence. But it's a lot, but I loved every minute. I never complained about it because it made me a better player, you know.
When you're doing all those Zoom calls I mean, a majority of your meetings, I'm assuming you did a lot over
It
Zoom.
was 6 a.m. because they're Eastern, so it's 7 a.m. So I
Right.
had to wake up at 6. Really had to wake up at 5:30 to drink my morning tea so I can last throughout the day. You know what I mean? So we had one break. It was 35 minutes. If we had quarterback meetings, you took your break in the quarterback meeting. So we weren't having break. But it was literally from my time, it was 6 to just about 2. And we had extra meetings about 2:30 to 3. So it was a lot, man.
Interactions with your coaches, and now I'm curious. So did you have a lot of interaction with Tom and Bill? Oh,
So Tom left right before I say got there, but he was in like some of the meetings
oh,
with Josh McDaniels, with Brian Oyer,
or
Jared Stidham, because he knew them, so he was just trying to help out a little bit before he left. So, but I was in there, I was in the meetings, heard everything. Man, it's just the knowledge you learn from some of the guys that have been in the league for so long. Even Brian, man, you learn so much from these guys. You just like this, man. I was a sponge, man. I literally just writing everything down, man. Just going at it, man. I still think about those meetings, man. I still got my notebook in my bag over there, actually, just about how to lead, doing your job, how to practice, how to work out, how to take care of your body, how to do this, how to do that, how to read defenses, and just so much stuff I learned, man.
right. No, that's just got to be really cool to be around those
Oh
people
yeah.
and to be able to absorb that kind of knowledge. Is just like, man, you don't get that
You
anywhere.
don't, you got to pay for this, man. I was paying me a little bit, you know what I mean?
No, that's neat. And obviously, God always has a plan, and,
Oh yeah,
and
man.
one door closes, another door opens, and typically that's always the better opportunity. You had the stint with the CFL, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, I believe, and that would have been in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was the spring going to the fall of 2021.
Got you. And so you kind of were there for a few months. CFL, for those that don't know, CFL is a lot more of a complex game than it is with
Aim up north, baby.
the transition and the interpretation across, like,
Yeah.
it's got to be a little different as a quarterback, I would say. And let me emphasize a little bit.
Uh, yeah. The main difference is, the fun part is the waggle, of course. You got your receivers moving before the snap of the ball.
Emotions.
That's
Jeez.
called the waggle. I'm helping my people out. That's called the waggle. But the one difference is an extra person on defense. And that extra person is most of the time always in the middle of the field. So that was the difference. But I take that back. How wide the field is, that's the big difference as well.
Yep.
Because you don't understand how wide the field is until you have to throw an out route, a quick game out route at that. Like I remember my first practice, I had to throw a quick game out route to the number one receiver. It felt like that ball floated forever, forever. So, but yeah, man, like I said, man, the game up north, man, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, you talk about the width of the field. I apologize. I'm sorry. There were so we've got to. I'll cut this out. There's an itinerary going down. Today's my birthday,
Oh yeah,
so
I didn't know that, man. Happy birthday, man. I didn't know that.
thank you very much. We're doing a birthday dinner after this, so my family was asking, "Hey,
All good.
I'm yeah, I'm
And
trying."
tell him I won't keep it too long. I promise.
You're good. You're good, man. I wanted to do this. I was like, I got to do this.
No,
So,
definitely. I appreciate
um,
that.
no, okay. So, reel it back in. Three, two, one. So, on the topic of the CFL, the out routes, the route tree has to be a lot more complex given the wideness of the field. Obviously, um, I guess that translation is going to be obviously, as you alluded to, it's got to be
You
a lot
better
more
throw, if
difficult.
you're throwing that ball outside, you better throw it. I'm telling you, man. I remember. I'm telling you, man. I remember like yesterday. I was trying to throw that hour. I'm telling you, I felt like that ball was just. I was like, God,
It
it was
doesn't matter.
completion. It was a completion. The DB was far off. I was like, all right, but I can't do that no more. I gotta throw that out there, man. But yeah,
My
it's a longer field, wider field, but it's the game of North, man. It's exciting.
Well, let's bring it right back down south where it all started. On full circle. So look, man, how did you kind of hear about the spring football kind of taking shape yet again in the form of the United States Football League? And what kind of piqued your interest to put your name in the hat for the United States Football League?
So, hearing of the league starting, I remember the XFL, and then I remember it stopping. I think that was a COVID year, if I'm not mistaken, or they stopped before that for some other reason. But I don't want to get into all that.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I honestly
I don't want to make nobody mad anymore. But
you're good.
I remember hearing about the USFL starting,
Yeah.
and hearing about the teams and everything. I hear about the coaches. I
Mm.
heard Skip Holtz. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. But then I got it. My agent, he said, I'm going to hook you up with a camp. It was the previous. It was Hub Camp, Hub Football Camp. I think now is Gridiron Football Camp or something like that now. But it was in Chula Vista, California. First time going to California, and I was excited. Got out there, had a great time, and I was literally about to sign with it's a arena football team. It's the San Diego I can't remember the name, but it's a San Diego arena team there. I was gonna sign that day. They was like, "We love you. We like what you're doing." I haven't played football since 2019, so I just wanted to play football. You know, it was an opportunity to go out there and spin the ball. So I was excited to sign right there. And I called my agent. He was like, "Just wait. Let's see what this USFL draft going to do and everything." I was like, "All right." I told the guy, I was like, "We're gonna wait till the draft," but I said, if nothing happens, I'm coming back to California. I want to play here. You know what I mean? So time went by. And I remember Alice got drafted. I was like, okay, that's what's up. And like I always had, I knew it. Like I'm not naive, you know what I mean? It's my coach from college. Like if he
Right.
needed another quarterback, I'm not going to be naive. It's like, he's not going to pick me up. So I had a slight, I was like, he might pick me up. You know, I might have an opportunity, but I never just went full throttle and said, all right, I'm gonna play in this league. This is what team. You know, I just kind of wait on opportunity. So
Right.
I literally remember playing the game in the living room. I think I was playing Call of Duty at the time, literally. And I got two of his phone numbers. I had his work number. No, it was his work number. I think that was his number that his wife had, but the school gave him for some reason. And then I had his personal number. That's the number that if I needed to call him, that's the number I call. And I saw that number call me. I was like, well, I got opportunity in this league, then. And then he got on the phone. He was like, "What's up, James?" I said, "By the time he called me, Coach Oates." On the call, we got to talking and everything, and then the rest is history, man.
That is awesome, dude. And you're right. The rest was history because that first year, y'all came out swinging, dude.
Yeah, man. It was just I think about the first year, man. It was just it was better just trying to get a group of guys going. You know that we didn't know each other. We everyone came to me about the fits and the arguments and the problems they had with the offense of why we don't do this. I was like, man, we've been doing this since 2015, but I don't know what to tell you. You know
Well,
what I mean? But
in that circumstance, because I know that you said, I wasn't really a vocal guy, but coming into the USFL, I would say that it probably thrusted you into a role where
Oh
it's
yeah.
like, hey, bro, you got to kind of step it up and be a little bit more vocal around these boys because you know this offense.
Yep, I had to, and that's the talk that me and Coach Holtz had. We had to talk. I knew I was a backup. I'm not going in. They drafted Alex first. I knew that going in that was a start. I knew everyone that got drafted first was a starter, unless you got hurt. So I went in going in to help Alex, literally help everybody. I wanted to be team player. I wanted to help as much as I can because I know this offense. I know everything in this offense. So I literally people tell you I went by helping. You got this on defense, trying to give Alex looks and everything, trying to help on offense, just everything. So, you know, like you said, man, I had to become a vocal leader. Then just stepping outside of my comfort zone, trying to help people out with the offense, trying to see if guys understand. I remember we had Zoom calls. I was leading Zoom calls with guys I never met before. The first year and year two, just trying to get guys on the same page. So just over the years, just like I said before, just trying to learn how to lead is kind of taking a toll on me in a very good way. So.
Hey, 2 USFL titles later, and now we get into this new league. And fun fact, brother, mark your calendar. Hope you're not doing anything March 31st because you're going to be on a football field playing
Yes,
all of
sir.
the Arlington Renegades. Man,
That'll be a great game, man. That'll be a great game, man.
champion on champion. What are your thoughts about the XFL joining up with the USFL, and what are your aspirations going into this new league, man?
So I'm gonna keep everything with smiling faces.
Absolutely. Got to.
But no, I remember after the first season, after we won, everyone asking, how did you feel about a merger and everything? I was like, I remember saying it. I said, merger would be nice. It would be a lot of stuff that we can't control because it's business that's behind closed doors, ownership and management. But I would like to see champion versus champion. We got, I remember I did say that. I'm not saying that. So we got champion versus champion. I didn't want all this stuff with the merger going on with. I hate to see people lose opportunity, but it's a new league. I hate a lot of great guys not getting opportunity. Like the draft that's going on, a lot of people didn't get drafted, man. I hate that. But the opportunity to come, man, just stay ready. Again, man, it's just a lot of good names on that board. But with the league, man, it's a new opportunity for us, for both sides, XFL, USFL. It's a bigger spotlight for the USFL guys. We wasn't on ESPN, so it's a bigger platform for us now. We was only on Fox, which I love Fox. Fox my people. You know what I mean? They believe in us. You know what I mean? They believe in us. But it's a bigger stage right now, and like I said, it's a new league. So for the Stallions, man, we got the same mindset. Go 1-0. We got a bigger target on our backs right now, but as long as we stay level-headed, go 1-0, don't worry about the outside factors, don't worry about anything else. Control what we can control. This is gonna be a big year for that. And like I said, man, just go out there, do what we do, go 1-0, man. We'll be all right.
I know the response to this one, but what's the one team you can't wait to face? Exactly. Just smile through. Exactly. That's what I thought. All right. It was a rhetorical question. I knew it. I knew
I wish I was on defense, but I really do. Like, I really do. Like, man, it's just some things like, just why. But I wish I was on defense for certain reasons. But, God put me in the position of being a quarterback. So,
oh my God.
yeah, man, just know, man, it'll be.
I know what you're alluding to. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
man. Yeah, man.
in all seriousness, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to sit down and talk shop, man.
We having fun. Man. I appreciate you, man.
For the past hour and a half, I would say this is one of the most energetic episodes I've ever
Man.
And I love
You know
talking.
me, man. You know me. I'm gonna keep you smiling, man. I don't care what's going on. It could be snowing. It could be thunderstorming outside. We're gonna be smiling. We'll be having fun, man. Living life.
Talking ball, exactly. Well, thank you very much, Jamar. You're
Sir.
more than welcome. If you ever want to come back, it's
Most definitely, man. We'll be back on another episode, man. We can talk ball. We can talk.
Maybe we could be in person. You never know. We'll see.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. The person will be more animated.
Exactly. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the Stripe Sports Podcast, episode number 2 coming up the pike. But for now,
Giddy up, baby.
giddy up.